This is Pranav Guha Thakurta from EduTV. Today, we are with Mr. Mahajan, the famous Mr. Pramod Mahajan, who's the head of Sharjah Indian School, Sharjah. He's an excellent orator and would like to have his advice for all the stakeholders of education in India as well as abroad. Sir, welcome.
Thank you.
Sir, first of all, I would like to have your advice for all the school leaders, owners on survival and revival in education during and post COVID-19.
During COVID-19, no issues. E-learning, distance learning, blended learning, flipped classroom. These are the options which will provide us the platform to survive, not only to survive, but to sustain also during the COVID-19. When I am talking about e-learning, this is the platform which is giving the chance to the teachers to update themselves, to integrate themselves, to act as a scaffolder instead of coach or facilitator or a teacher. It provides the opportunity to the students to be active learner, that sort of person who can achieve the mastery learning. Students will have that sort of opportunities to develop themselves as a experienced learner. They should learn by their experience. COVID-19 has given us that sort of opportunity as well as that sort of challenge that one can be an independent learner. One can develop the competencies. At the same time, for the parents, this COVID-19 has provided a fantastic opportunity to provide the conducive atmosphere to their child at home, to be friendly with the child, to work with the child, to extend their life stories with a child instead of doing the parental bossing. They should be just like a friend, they should be just like a motivator, and they should be a one and only one who enjoys the blunders of their child. It is the opportunity for the parents to allow the child to do the blunder. When the child will commit some blunders, the child will understand that where the things went wrong. The student will understand that how to diagnose the problem which is creating issue. Then what they will do? They will redo it, they will reframe it, they will recreate it, and finally they will reach to the mastery learning. This is experiential learning. So COVID-19 has given a chance to check yourself up to what extent you can adopt the experiential learning. Experiential learning is nothing. Do the blunder, find out the blunder, find out the ways to rectify it, find out the ways by means of which you will not repeat it again, then redo, reframe, retest, and then develop your own sort of system which will be foolproof, and then you reach to the mastery learning. For the school owners and for the CEOs, or we can say educators, or those people who are controlling the education, who are monitoring the education, for them, this is a new era. How to control the operational cost, capex, and provide the best education to the child. It is very easy to collect the fees, provide the education, and maintain our margin. But when the situation is like COVID, where we are not in a position to have solid funding or solid financial background, in that scenario, how to minimize our operational cost, how to minimize our capex, that is the capital cost, how to maintain the building utilizing our critical resources, that is another aspect. So for the school owner, one thing is there, how to monitor, how to control the operational cost as well as the capex. For the teachers, to reinvent the new techniques, transform themselves as a scaffolder, provide the scaffolding, ignite the spark within a child, challenge the child, give the remedial action to the child, or academically adopt the child. I'm using 3-4 terms. Number one, challenge the child. That is reinforcement, enrichment in the classes. Number two, and that is meant for gifted and talented. Number two, remedial action. The able and more able students, they will have certain problems. So give the remedy. That remedy will be given online by distance learning, maybe using synchronous platform or asynchronous platform. Third one is academic adoption. Find out that sort of students who are not doing well at all, or which is not possible for them. Adopt them academically. Now that adoption will be virtual. Just make a Zoom session with them, play with them, dance with them, tell them a story, and explain them what's the concept behind this. Show some experiment. See, one day I was taking a class of 5 students, those who are the last 5 students of their class. They were not understanding what is conduction, what is boiling point, what is radiation, nothing, and how the heat transfer from one place to another place. So I connected myself on the Zoom session and I told them, you do one thing, take your mobile in your kitchen and make a coffee for me. So when they start heating the vessel and putting the water, they said, sir, why this sound is coming? So they understood that thing. There is heat has an energy, and that energy can be in the form of a sound, that energy can be in the form of a temperature, that energy can be in the form of a kinetic energy or the potential energy. When they put the water, they saw, and can you simply observe and tell me what is happening? They're telling, sir, bubbles are coming up. So why they are coming up? I said, why they are coming up? They might be become lighter. So they understood the concept of density, and the lighter particles comes upward. The particle whose temperature is more, they become lighter. They understood conduction, they understood convention, they understood radiation, and simply we had a tea and chapter is over. So what I mean to say, in that way, that is one simple example. There are many ways. So if we academically adopt them, so the teacher will act as a scaffolder. Just like in the building construction, we put the scaffolding. In that manner, a teacher has to act as a scaffolder. As a scaffolder means what? The teacher has to do the action. The child will follow that thing. It is one kind of modeling in the if you say in the tone of films and all. So the child will follow, will become a model, and finally that will become habit of a child. So this is a new role a teacher has to play, and who taught that is the COVID-19. Parents are doing academic bossing. I am a doctor. I am a gold medalist in mathematics. My child should get 100 out of 100. Now this COVID-19 is the period when you are locked down, when you are 24 hours with your child. That bossing will not work. You become a friend, you discuss with, find out whether the child is interested for maths or whether the child is interested for science, whether the child is interested for history, economics, and that way, in the friendly way, help the child and enjoy the mistakes of the child. That is another role a parent has to play. So owner, teacher, parent, and the students, all the stakeholders will survive if they interrogate themselves and find out the ways and means to resolve the issue, to resolve the problem. According to the education theory, nothing moves upward without the problem, and every problem has its by default solution. COVID-19 has given a chance to find out that unique solution. And finding out that unique solution is survival of a student, survival of a parent, survival of a owner academically within the COVID-19. Now, post COVID-19, what will be the scenario? There will be a chance that face-to-face learning may happen, may not happen. Definitely, there will be a learning gap. Post-COVID, what we have to do? We have to fill up that learning gap. Now, to filling up that learning gap, the important role has to be played by the mentor and mentee. So post-COVID, a teacher has to play a role of a mentor and the student has to become as a mentee. So this mentor and mentee, when their frequency matches, that learning gap will fulfilled and then sustainable learning will happen. So post-COVID and during the COVID, these are some aspects which we are trying, we are implementing it, and up to some extent we are successful in that. Let me tell you, in my school, there are students of near about 10 different nationalities. So such type of things happens during the year so many times. And from the last 4 or 5 years, it's happening. They have different challenges. They have to leave the country. Their visa is expired. They have gone to their country. Then how to resolve it? We do use these techniques and try to fill up that learning gap. Now, if a child understood that thing, yes, there is a learning gap, the student transform himself or herself as a mentee, comes to the mentor, get tuned up with the mentor, and try to fill up that learning gap. So these are my inputs.